right, part 2 coming to you about nitrogen management and managing high nitrogen soils after the drought of 2021. Sorry for being too direct. So everyone remembers the crop year of 2021, and as we stuck soil probes into the ground doing fall soil sampling, standard practice, we found insurmountably high amounts of nitrogen, anywhere from 60 on most fields up to 160 in the extreme dry conditions, because our crop did just not pull it out of the ground and because we didn't have the water to make it plant available. So we were betting on that nitrogen being available for our crop this year, mostly because the price of nitrogen was climbing through the roof. So now we need to think about the weather events that we had and have happened since that fall of soil sampling. We had about 2 to 4 inches of precipitation in the fall, depending on where you were in Manitoba. And then April and May hit. And I'm not going to summarize how much water that is, but what we saw is a recharge of our subsoil moisture. And with that, the number one thing that happened on most fields in most areas is a form of nitrogen movement that we're not used to seeing in the heart of the Red River Valley, and that is leaching. We saw our nitrogen values from 0 to 6 move from 6 to 18. So we didn't lose it, it just moved on us. And it's a form of nitrogen movement that we're not used to. Usually we lose nitrogen through denitrification. Now the second scenario that took place is we had a lot of regrowth of canola. As you can see on your right, regrowth canola we did not spray out until flowering. And on your left, we had regrowth canola that we sprayed out when it was about bolting. We all know when plants grow, they need nitrogen. And what we saw on fields that we resoil sampled this spring, after letting it regrow up to flowering stage, is a loss of anywhere to 40 to 50 pounds of nitrogen because it took it up, which means it's not plant available right now because a lot of it is in the stalks of the regrowth. So a couple things to think about for your nitrogen this year. How much rain have you had? Did that rain take the water down, leaching? Number 3, did the regrowth on your field use up the nitrogen and not make it available? And the third thing that a lot of growers were concerned about in Manitoba was lazy pulses. And the good news is, because we filled our subsoil up with water and it's moved that nitrogen into the lower profile, for most growers, the risk of lazy nodules on your pulses is going to be very low, because we saw 50, 60 pounds of nitrogen, 0 to 6, move down, which means there's only 5 to 15 pounds on average on our farm left in 0 to 6. So we got to wait for the nodules are going to start fixing nitrogen, and they're not going to turn lazy on us. So that's the good news. So if you're making last minute plans to your crop rotation, don't be scared to put a pulse on a field that had high nitrogen last fall. So that's part 2 of nitrogen management of high soil sample fields. I suspect there'll be a part 3 to this. Stay tuned very soon, and good luck wrapping up seeding in 2022.